Hello my friends, Elizabeth here. We're gonna resume our YouTube channel. It's been a while since I recorded a video, but we were expanding, not only having new people working with us, we've got a new office in Osborne Village. We're very excited. I love this place. It's great energy, great location. I love Osborne Village all my life. I basically lived in this area. My child was born in this area, so for me it's like home. I kind of feel like I came back home. So today I'm gonna talk about notarization. We had a couple videos about notarization in Russian and in English, but I will be talking in English and explaining what we do as a notary, right? So, and there is a notary needed for many things, like and I've been doing it. You probably know, who watch my Instagram and Facebook, you know that we have a location that with UPS at 2025 Corridon at 5 p.m. every day. I meet there, but it's by appointment only. So we're gonna have we're launching a website specifically dedicated to notarization. We're just kind of testing it right now, and soon, hopefully like September 4th or like next week, we're gonna have it all published, and you can book your appointments through that website with us. We want to have a very convenient time for you, and of course this location, Osborne Village, is super convenient. We have free parking, and we also could be maybe for some people on a walking distance, because there's a lot of people living in this area. So maybe somebody needs it, they can just walk to our office. Okay, no need to drive anywhere far away. So this is my fancy notary bag, and some of you might ladies recognize it's a Lancome bag from the Christmas sets that I always buy and donate. So we'll see what's going to be next year, but I use it for my notarization. So I have some paperwork here. I'm going to put it away. So we have a stamp. So basically, stamp would say my location, and it's going to be just my official location that I am registered with the Law Society, because I have 3 locations, and some of them are I don't disclose because that's where I work and that's where my books are and all that stuff. But I meet people in different places, so I do not have 3 different stamps. It's only one stamp with one official address, because that's where my mail comes and courier and all that stuff. Then we have a seal, and the seal goes, usually we use these stickers, you see, very well used. So I'm just gonna use this one to show you how it works. So we take a sticker, put it on your document, and we squeeze it really hard, and then we have the sticker. So usually we first put the sticker on the document and then squeeze it, and that has my name and that I'm a notary. So I'm gonna make sure I destroy that. And this is how they come, those stickers. Then we have different type of stamps. For example, we have a stamp, an exhibit stamp. Let's say you have a document that refers to an exhibit. For example, you're doing an affidavit and you're gonna say, and this information comes from exhibit A, exhibit B, which is a copy is attached and all that stuff. In order for this document to be properly completed, this document has to have a stamp on it, or like on the cover page stamp, saying that this exhibit is part of that affidavit, and I have to sign it. So nothing can be replaced when you're not or when you left a notary, let's say, right? So we make sure that every exhibit has a stamp. So this is a stamp for exhibit. It basically says this is an exhibit, and then space to the affidavit of, then we put the name of you who signed the affidavit, and then we put our signature, who signed it, what date, and so on. So this is just like an ink pad for those kind of stamps. I don't want to get dirty. Then we actually ordered a special stamp for vital statistics, because the vital statistic has special directions how the documents have to be certified, and it's so long, so I just went and ordered that. I think it has 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 lines of wording, and when you're trying to like be efficient, this is just too much to write, so we stamp and then we put the name of the person and the document. So this is just for Vital Statistic Manitoba. I'm all about efficiency. So then this stamp doesn't look very appealing, but this is the most used stamp. It says that I certify that this is a true copy of let's see, of the original document. Yeah, I certify that it's a true copy of the original document. Then I put the name of the document, and I say presented to me on such date. And then you have a little guy like that, just saying I'm a like notary public and entitled to practice in the province of Manitoba, or in and for the province of Manitoba. Entitled to practice, it's for the lawyer. Anyway, so those are my stamps. I think I can maybe come up with other ones for some documents that we're using quite often, but you never know what wording is required, because when you come to us, I usually ask, provide me instructions that you got from whatever this organization that demands a certified copy. So we've done, let's say, something for foreign passport, let's say for like Ireland, Poland, or whatever the country, right? So they have specific instructions, let's say, what we have to put. So we certify documents for doctors when they're applying to get registered in another jurisdiction. We've had a lot of pharmacists, like students who are applying to a pharmacy to become pharmacists. So we have, I think they have some special wording there too. Some demand to say that we are not related, so the notary is not related to the person that we're certifying. So everybody has their rules, and when people come to me, the first thing I ask, please send me, show me the instructions, because I don't want to just to put plain, I would say my traditional stamp, and then they're not going to accept your document, and you lost your time, and maybe there are deadlines, and you miss the opportunity to be a student there, and so on. So we take it very seriously, and that's why I want you, when you come to us, to have your instructions from your organization who wants that notarization. So then we have this red thread. We usually use it for the documents that go to Ukraine, Russia, Israel. So we would have it, if document has more than one page, we would seal the last page with a yellow sticker, right? And then we would initial every page, and then I would put a seal without a sticker on each page, and also then I will put like 2 holes on the side of the document, and I will put a thread, and then I'll put a little sticker on it and put my stamp, so it's like super secure that nobody can take it apart. And so some countries demand it, some don't even know what it is, so sometimes people hear like, why do you have it, right? So and my husband never, I think, used that thing. So, and he is, if you follow me, you know, he's a lawyer and notary. So what they use here is just for convenience, I guess we use this triangles. So we'll put it together, staple, and then maybe at the end, at the back of the document, we can put another stamp, so you can see that nobody touched that, try to replace any pages. So that's basically it for the notarization. I have this, my favorite pen that has different colors, because then oftentimes we have to either use blank ink or blue, depending on the again, organization and their form. And the last is step after notarization could be authentication of the document. So if your document going abroad, sometimes the states don't ask for that, right? But maybe depending on the document, but I've never seen that we had to do authentication for the document that's being used in the States. But any other country, like we've had majority of countries that we do it for, it's Israel, Germany, Russia, Ukraine, and could be some Australia, some very rare we get some countries that it goes, I don't know, we have some countries in Africa, people send the documents. So what happens then? So when you come to us to notarize, you have to find out from your party there who's helping you from your notary or from your lawyer abroad, right? Depending on what you're doing. Let's say you're selling your property there, or consenting to a sale of the property there, like maybe you have some rights in that property and you have to consent. India is another country that we often see those documents, right? And we will ask you, like, do you know whether it needs to be authenticated? So authentication, I had another post about it, the process of it. So there's some countries that sign this convention, right? And there's certain rules how it's to be authenticated, the document. So now Manitoba, like if the document has to be in English to be authenticated, and then we send it, or you can do it yourself, but my clients prefer that I do it. We send this document to Global Affairs in Ottawa, and it takes time. Unfortunately, sometimes it could be very long. And they authenticate our notarized document, and they will put a special paper basically confirming this document, or maybe confirming that I'm a notary, and assigning a number to this document. I guess the idea of this procedure is that because nobody knows who we are, right? Like if this document goes back to Russia or Ukraine or Israel or India, there's like, okay, anybody could maybe come up with this seal and do it. So to avoid fraud and all that consequences, they have this authentication process. Unfortunately for Manitobans, the process is longer because it has to go to Ottawa. But for some other provinces like Ontario and Alberta, I'm not sure about other provinces, they have their own procedure, but the notary has to be notary in that province. So you cannot use my document notarized and then send it or go to their authentication office. They're not going to do it. So if the document is done here, it has to be done in Ottawa. And we can put a link for that so you can read. There is a certain form that you have to complete. It's free to do. We do charge for extra work because we have to get your express post envelopes, we have to do the form, we have to send it to them, and go to the post office and so on. So some people do it themselves, some prefer that we do it. And that's basically it. So we're gonna have on that website description of what documents we're gonna notarize, right? Because there is a limit to what I'm gonna do. For example, I don't certify any, let's say, any documents related to divorce. Like let's say parties came and they created their separation agreement. I would not witness it because I'm also a practicing lawyer, and when I see something and I see there is something like odd there or not right or whatever, I don't want to, and I'm not hired to do legal advice, to provide legal advice, so I'm not comfortable stamping that agreement. The same with the prenuptial agreement. So the same with the wills. When people go ahead and do their wills online or whatever, or power of attorneys, I do not sign those documents. There is power of attorneys that go abroad and that are prepared by your lawyer there. Let's say you have a lawyer in India and they've drafted the document, they explained it to you, and you know what you're doing. You came to me just to sign it, then I am okay with that. So I will talk to you and we'll sign it. if you decided all of a sudden to do your document and you wanted to notarize, I'm not going to do it, but I'm sure there's some other people who will. It's just I don't want to have an issue later proving that I didn't, maybe I should have provide you legal advice, or I should do something differently, and on and on and on. So to avoid that, to avoid any consequences, I do not do it because it's just not worth it. And what else? Yeah, there's this huge variety of documents that we notarize. Like for example, if you work for if you work for a company that needs a security check or whatever, and they ask you for an affidavit, or they ask you for some forms that they're gonna send somewhere to check your background, so we do that. If you're applying, I had quite a bit of people applying to be a firefighters in Texas, the school in Texas, so they would come and we sign some document, their application or something. So like something that I've never seen like before, and they come and they need it. Even the students from the law school who are applying for articling position, not articling positions, are applying for articling with the law society, they need stuff to be notarized too. So they come to me, I meet new future lawyers, right? So notarization for me is a great way to meet people. Yes, we can make definitely money doing that, but it's compared to the legal stuff that we do, it's just not enough to sustain the business, right? But I don't look at it as the income source, I would say. It's just, for me, it's helping you to have accessible notary, because I know that many lawyers don't want to do it, because if you're in a big firm and you're busy doing your big stuff, like you don't want to get distracted for some little thing, one stamp, because you still have to put, you have to read it, maybe to make sure that is everything correct. You have to definitely check the ID of the person and who is signing it, to identify the person, to question the person whether the person has the capacity to sign this document. And it takes time, so you can easily spend half an hour or whatever, and then doing it, or maybe 15 minutes, I don't know, depending on the situation. And then you have to accept the funds, channel it through your accounting system, and for the big, because I worked at the big firm, they would say just do it for free if you want to do it, right? And but nobody wants to do it for free. They just don't do it sometimes, right? So for us, as a small firm, we do it. I love doing it. It's a break from big stuff, let's say, like, right? So for me, it's just like entertainment to go to my other location and just refresh my brain, meet new people, and from there, we build a relationship, so that I see people that I maybe would never met in my firm, because they were not looking for Russian-speaking lawyer, right? So, but when they come, they maybe like my energy and my approach to the documents and the situation. So, and then they take a card and they come back. And we did have people who came back for different stuff. Wills, immigrations, separation, whatever, right? Whenever they need to come back. So that's the whole idea of notarization for me, is just to help you to have very flexible notary, because we do have after hours, we have mobile service depending on the situation, right? And we have 3 locations where we can meet, and I think it's reasonable. Plus, you're having a lawyer to look at these papers, because where I want to say, like, for example, when you sell your property somewhere and your lawyers from BC, we have a lot of those cases from BC, sending paperwork, and whether it's sale or purchase, and they say, they give a list where you have to sign an initial and put a stamp. So just because I do a lot of real estate, I'm familiar with this paperwork, even though it's from a different province. So it's easier for me to say, listen, there's something odd, or I'll call them, let's see if they need a stamp here or whatever, or maybe something is missing. We had a case when a person came and there was like a list of paperwork, and there was like, I said, but it's not here, like it's missing, they didn't send you something, right? So that notarization turned into like almost an hour because we're waiting for documents and so on. So we have this ability to review the documents. I'm not giving legal advice, but I'm making sure that it's all properly notarized. So I think that's it about notarization. And it's very important for customers, because many organizations demand it. It's also important for immigration when let's say you have to sign statutory declaration of that you're common law, you have to do it with a notary. So we have a lot of requests for that. And yeah, we'll probably make a list. Maybe I should make a list, like whatever the document I notarize, just maybe even unique ones, right? I should make a list and say, we've done that, and that's very specific requirements and so on. Also, we can certify your identity for a foreign country if you're getting a passport. So I had a case when the foreign like a person in Canada was getting a passport in a different country, like citizenship, and the requirement of that office was that they gotta call me to verify that I actually met with this person. And sure enough, I was just going on my vacation, I'm in my car, and there is some foreign, like, I'm not gonna say what the country, they're calling me from the consulate, and it's like, okay, I answered because I wasn't sure what it all was about. And they asked me if I remember this person. I said, well, I do remember the person. I remember all the circumstances, how we signed it, and how many times he came and all that stuff, but I still don't remember the last name. And they said, well, we're not gonna give it to you. I said, well, okay, I'm just gonna call my office to verify the records, and I'll call you back. So I did that. So if you need somebody to verify your identity for that purposes, we can definitely guarantee that we'll answer the call from that office. And I just provided my cell phone for that purposes. Sometimes they ask that you personally know that person, but the thing is, like, I don't know you personally until you come in and just show me your ID, like several IDs, right? So I would put a stamp, but I would write, how I met you, when I met you, and this is only the first time I met you. And if that is enough for them, then it's okay, because this kind of condition, personally known, it has in different organization, like Alberta. If you're applying for, I think, record of birth certificate or something, they ask for that. I had that recently, and I said, well, I can't say I know you personally because I don't. I just can verify that I verified you with your ID, and that's it. And if that's enough for them, they will accept it, because they have an option for you to go to your pharmacist, to your doctor, to your wherever, like somebody who knows you, and then they can verify your identity. But people usually, like, people who come to me say, well, I don't have a doctor who knows me, or I don't have a pharmacist who knows me, so nobody can sign it. And probably doctors and pharmacists are not going to be comfortable verifying somebody's identity, so I've never seen that done. So that's what we offer as well. Anyway, whatever your issue is and you need something to be certified, we can definitely help, especially if it's stuff for Ukraine or Russia or Israel. So we always can contact your lawyer there or your notary there, talk to them, ask them what kind of document they need, because by the time it gets there, right, it becomes an expensive document after authentication, translation, all that stuff. So we want to make sure that once it gets there, they are happy with the way it's done and they're not rejecting your document. So this is our goal. Make sure that your documents are never rejected, they're accepted by those authorities, and then you proceed there with whatever you're doing. So I think that's enough for today, and we wish you all the best. If you have any authorization requests, please let us know, and stay tuned for our wonderful website for notarization, totally dedicated for notary services, nothing else but notary services. Bye.